Hey y'all, it is Monday, time for a stitching update. All right, last week I worked on Angel of Grace. I love Angel of Grace. She's so fun to work on. I worked on her big poof of a sleeve and then some of her giant wing. Isn't that dress gorgeous? And this up here is like a Krynic color, kinda. Mine isn't gold. I don't like gold at all. And so she has something way beautiful, just super beautiful. So I'll show you where I've made it. Ugh. She's a big girl. I finished that big old poof. And then I put in some of her wing. So, yeah. And she's big because I use 14 count. But I'm not going to go to a smaller count of fabric just so I can have a smaller, you know what I'm saying? I'm about enjoying my stitches and not struggling to see the fabric. I have no desire for that. I want to enjoy stitching. I don't want to struggle. And struggling is not where I want to be with stitching, with patterns. None of that. I have no desire for that. So, yeah. And I know I didn't get a lot done on her. But that is from, I have everybody down on separate weeks. But I'm not pushing myself to do certain goals during that week. My goal for the week is just to simply work on it when I can. To touch it and work on it. Because these have not been doing that. I've been so busy doing other things that my cross stitch has been neglected. And if I don't make a crap ton of progress, I don't make progress. You know, if I'm able to get a length of thread in, okay, that's great. It is what it is. So anyway, this week, this week I was going to do a new start with this pattern, the Cowboy 10 Commandments. But if I do this pattern, I'm going to need a lot more prep work for it. It's black and white pattern. And for some reason, they put a background in it. So I'm having to try to figure out where the words are. I have no desire to do a background. When I colored my own fabric. I just threw in some tea and tea-dyed a piece of fabric. So I was like, you know what? This is stressful. I'm going to have to come back to this. And I don't know if it was because she did it this way because, or he, I don't know who the designer, because it's an all-in-one pattern. And what I mean by that is they said this pattern works for all crafts like cross stitch, needlepoint, rug hooking, latch hooking. Kind of the same thing, I guess. And even knitting it. You can knit it, crochet it. Sometimes patterns like this just don't work like that. Just sometimes they don't. Anyway, so I'm going to have to get into figure out because you would think it's a simple, okay, my wide point start, let's start right here, right? But if you really look at it, because technically this is stitch 2. I'm not stitching that. I'm stitching the words. But if you look further down, she has one that's just randomly out here, or they, right? So I am gonna have to find this number 4 and figure out where it is on this graph, because it's the outermost start. There's not a starting point in the middle to reference off of, because I can show this because this is not much. The thing of it is the pattern is set up like this, right? So I can see that between these there's a start point right there, but it's not marked on the graph. So I would have to go in there dot by dot and figure that out. I can't judge this pattern just yet, but I haven't even started it and I have a headache. So I went to something so much easier. I went on, where's my paper? I don't have this printed out right now. My house is a mess because they're supposed to be bringing me another refrigerator. In the way that this place is built, they put the appliances in and then put the bar in front of it. So instead of having to rip out the bar, they're going to drag the refrigerator up and over my island. And yeah, I have to clear off my island for them to get the refrigerator out. What happened is they put it in a very big refrigerator for a smaller space, I guess. Like the space is smaller than the refrigerator. So that little doorway going to the kitchen, it cannot come out of. I kid you not. I can't make this up. So they found another refrigerator that fits through that doorway, and they're supposed to be bringing that because my current refrigerator freezes everything in the bottom. I get fresh vegetables, okay? I put them in there that night. I cut them up, put them in there that night. By the morning, they're rock hard solid. They've replaced a lot of parts. They've done different temperature changes. They're finally to the point, okay, we're just going to replace it. Well, thank you. But, and if it were simple, just cut the island, I think they probably would. But across the refrigerator, there's a dishwasher. So whoever built this was not the best genius out there. So anyway, let's get back to stitching. So my kitchen's a mess, and therefore the printer, I cannot print right now. But this is called Country Commandments by Benny Harman, and it's off of crossstitch.com. Now, I hope this is a legit site. It does give credit to the original owners, because I've seen some Arteza, is that it? Artezas? Cross stitches. And it has their logo at the corner, and it does give them proper credit. So I'm hoping that that's kind of legit, you know. It is instant download, which I love. This pattern was under $5. So it was a little more pricey, but this pattern actually makes sense. It makes sense. It's clean. You can see what they're saying. There's no background frou-frou. It's just a really nice pattern. Mostly it's words. And then at the bottom, you know those old, what's that word I'm thinking of? Back in the 80s patterns, how everybody had the geese on their patterns, or whatever, the little white with blue geese. This is the little houses in the heart. What is that called? I know somebody has told me this before. It's whatever it is, country cute or country-ish, you know? So, rustic, country. Anywho, you know back in the day when they had baby blue, everything was baby blue, hot, country rose, or baby pink. Yeah, that's that kind of pattern. It calls for red, black, and baby blue, or dark baby blue. So, yeah, and it's not a bad one. It is 122 wide by 167 high. So I have taken my fabric, the piece that I tea-dyed for the other one, I used it. So this piece is tea-dyed. I didn't light it on the fire on the edges like I was going to, and I'm glad I didn't for that other thing, because I need this to look cute. But yeah, so I have this is where it starts, and I think it turned out okay. I think I would like it a little more modeled, maybe a little more not uniformed. Is that? I'm sorry, words and I just been around long enough, you know. So yes, and then I have another pattern that I want to start, but I need to get some other patterns done before I start. But it's called Stitch the Seasons, and it's little houses that are with the months. I love little monthly things. They're so cute. And I seem to have a drawing to those. And, but I have another monthly thing that I'm working on right now, and that needs to be done before any other monthly stuff. And that's the Snowflake Diaries. I think I'm only on February. So, yeah. And I'm not even doing the full month. I'm only picking out the part of the month that I really love to stitch, because some of it's just frou-frou and not necessary. I'm not a fan of frou-frou. I want to stitch like the meat and potatoes and things. So, anyway, that is what I have going on. And, yeah. I love being able to put the stuff on the calendar and see what I have done for. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, the calendar and all that, Walmart is where I get my planners, I guess you would say. Anyway, I get the weekly so that I can write each, weekly, or I can write what I have for that day, because I don't keep stitch counts. I don't find that necessary. I just write down, hey, I worked on this today. And yeah, I sticker it up. I sticker things up. Gotta make it cute. But I'll write down, hey, I worked on this one today, or I worked in this one today. And I have February's mapped out, but I'm replacing one, because I just was going to go with, see how I have it mapped out? I was going to work on one of these that I haven't worked on a while, but I don't have the desire to work on it. So in that place is where this Country Commandments is going to go. And we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, thank y'all so much. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.